Recording in progress.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Taylor District regularly scheduled board meeting of January 24th, 2024, where our mission statement is to educate, engage, and empower those we serve. And our vision statement is that we will be the innovative destination district where all succeed. Meeting is called to order at 6:01. Roll call. Ms. Black is here. Mr. Heath is not here today. Mr. Myers?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas? Here. Mrs. Schupel? Here. Mr. Wright?
Here.
Okay, pledge of allegiance, everyone, if you please.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Start tonight with our good news. And our first good news is Taylor High Drama. Mrs. Petruski. Ms. Petruski.
So just a little bit of background on what just happened. The students went to the Thespian Festival, and two of our seniors here received totals and scholarships. Devin Bird, who has been lead Scrooge, all kinds of plays, obviously Scarecrow. He got $200,000 totaling scholarship offers.
Oh.
Wow. Jasmine Gore Roberts, $244,000. Will is going for two auditions at a couple different universities. He was our Taylor High School Drama Club president last year. He is senior class president this year. And we also have Cassandra Ashford, who is the current Drama Club president. And we are going to be doing Grease. We did change the date to April, so we would love to have you. Last year we did, for our spring musical, we did The Wiz. So we're going to do a small little excerpt of The Wiz right now for your viewing pleasure.
Say, honey, you got a spare change?
What?
I said, you got a spare change. Shekels, euros, kinds of credit cards. Well, I'm gonna save up the body some credits.
Get on, Ray. No. Is there anyone up there?
Well, I don't know. But after 15 minutes up on this pole, I don't know what's going on. Anything is.
He's there. Oh,
How'd you get rest? Oh, just hold that body right there. Hey, it sure is people that say hello to me. Honey, you know. I was born on the day before yesterday. I wear clothes in my shoes, I was bright boots, and I didn't have a place to stay. But I know to make this time. Yes, I know I'm gonna make it this time. I was born on a little house far away. Made out of three rubber bands and a water ants. It's something kind of rolled up. Yeah. It is time. Listen now. We gon' sing on. So y'all need to be ready. Keeping my spirit. Keeping my spirit. Say, honey, what's your name? Ain't it all?
Emerald City. You see, there's this great big powerful business. They said they have about 3 or 4 Americans next month. He's gonna be back on the campus.
Sounds like something.
Oh, what should we do?
You should go there.
Oh.
Oil! Oil! I need oil!
Need oil.
No, please, miss, some of them can over there. Man, see, these mistakes have a lot of change.
Have it in there. No.
You know what? Sounds small to me. What's that?
How'd you ever get that?
Well, you see, I wasn't always there, I tell you, I used to be flesh and blood witch doctor. Until one day, a wicked witch with a spell of my house.
The spell?
Yeah, and she did another too. Let me tell you. You see, one day, I was in the woods, chopping down some trees, and they had some color on my left leg. Is that something? I sure thought so. So, I went to see a tinsmith I knew. And I go, hey man, you think you fix me up a tin leg? And, well, he did. The next day, I go back to the woods, no little thing, chop down some more trees, and bam, cut off my right leg.
You poor man.
Didn't have everything. God, I'm sure. You use John's all. Come on. Wait. You see, getting across the heart. I mean, not
You don't have a car.
laying off the soup.
You're not gonna listen to your lips. Well, you say you want anything. You have about 3 or 4 Americans. So why don't you grab them? I'll grab the food.
Well, you show me the way.
If your eyes are red, so somebody you're walking, lost sometimes. You don't know we are at the road. You don't know we are at the road. Don't you quit.
Guys, don't ever give up on your dream. That's what you want to do. Don't ever give up. Wonderful. Employee recognition, Carly Bernard.
Hello, everybody. That's a tough act to follow there, guys. Awesome. I just want to say that was an amazing job, you guys. Good job. And I'm so proud of you guys. Congratulations. And to you too, Teresa. Yeah, so I'm here today. I just wanted to recognize three subs that I had in my building this year. In the fall, we didn't start out fully staffed. We still needed a POHI teacher and a JROTC instructor. So I just wanted, we are now staffed. We found a POHI teacher and a JROTC instructor. But this entire first semester was taught by these three amazing individuals. So I just wanted to recognize them in front of the board and the community, just so that everybody knows like the extra mile that they went. I've never seen a sub do as much as I've seen these three individuals do. So I'm gonna start with POHI. So we have Penny Ebaugh and Patricia McGinnity. So they've been paraprofessionals in the POHI program for a long time. So over 20 years. This program is like a family. The Pathways program is located at the Career Center, and it's an amazing family environment. And losing Sam was sad for us, and we were really worried about the program continuing on this year without having an instructor in the beginning of the year. So Penny stepped up. She had the credentials to actually be the long-term sub, and then Patty being the paraprofessional, knowing that the job was going to be expanded a little bit more. They just stepped up and did an amazing job. They kept integrity in the program, and they kept up with all of the field trips and all of the PBIS and all of the things that our building does that the teachers, do with their kids. They did with our students. And them keeping this program alive, I just wanted to let everybody know. So I wanted to come here and just share that with you and let you know how awesome they did and what they did for our districts. Because now that we do have a teacher in there, I just don't know without them too what would have happened without them doing this. So I just wanted to thank them publicly. So I already gave them my goodies I gave, but yeah. So stand up. I'd like to just. So I do want to recognize Emelina Sexton and then Eva Hamilton. They are also part of this program, and they are just an amazing family over there. And we want to welcome Eva to that family. And Emily did help out a lot too. And I mean, all the things I just said can just now be transferred and said exactly for Ms. Jenna Randall. So she came into our JROTC program as a long-term sub as well. And not having a JROTC or military background, she went above and beyond to learn everything she needed to learn to keep that program going. And she signed up for all the competitions. She was in the gym drilling with these kids. She went home and spent hours and hours learning the curriculum that she taught them, and learning the drills and learning the PT. She met with countless hours with the National Guard right down the street. She brought in guest speakers, and she did everything to keep that program's integrity going as well. She went out and, I mean, she was bringing these kids breakfast and getting them to and from the bus and dressing them and making sure they got their shoes and their uniform. And, so again, she just went above and beyond what I've ever seen a sub do. And so I'm just like super grateful for her as well. So, yeah. And share that with you guys, because they kept these two programs alive for us while we got them staffed, and they also helped us find the people that we found as well. So I just want to let you guys know that.
Thank you.
Ms. Petrucci, I have these are for the kids too that came and performed, and then those that, I don't know if there's any others that were supposed to. Those are- Oh, thank you.
It's always great to see the good news in the Taylor School District. Always very heartwarming. And of course, this is my first meeting as president, and I came down with a cold yesterday, and I had to work a little bit overtime today. My boss sent an email at 4:50. So I did take some cold medicine, so hopefully I don't nod off. But what's a first meeting without a disaster? right? Okay, I get to turn this over to the new secretary.
All right, moving on to item number 4 of the meeting, the revision / approval of the agenda, policy 0166. Are there any revisions? I do have one myself. Removing item D off of the certified personnel report. Is there a motion to approve the
Motion.
changes?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas.
This is-
Wait, no, Daryl. Daryl said it. Huh?
that's what I thought.
Daryl and you both said it at the same time. Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas. Yes. Mrs. Thomas. Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
Mr. Wright, is it yes? Ms. Black.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. All right, moving on to item number 5, scheduled reports. Oh, well, that's. Sorry.
While they're getting started, we're going to welcome our school improvement coordinators. You'll see in this presentation, you're going to see Liz Biddle, Kim Berkey, Sarah Staten, and Ricardia Lewis. They're headed up by Stacy Vesprimi, who is the state and federal director that just joined the team. And they are a team that does a lot for the district, but what they're going to be talking to you about today is how closely they monitor the school index score. So they'll go into what exactly that means and why we are in a position to celebrate today. They are the team that helps schools to determine the best ways to utilize grant funds. And what you're going to see is exciting and is in part due to the coordination of this team with the schools in the district to provide programming and resources that propel Taylor students forward. We've seen an increase in enrollment, and what you're about to see now is even further proof that Taylor is growing, changing, and gaining in momentum. So with that, I will put it off to the team.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. You can find the school index on myschooldata.org. It is open to the public, and the easiest way to get to it is just in that little search button, put school index, it'll get you right there. Again, it is open to the public, so anybody can look at this information. What is the school index? So the school index is simply a measure of public schools' performance, and it has 7 key areas. Each one of these areas has its own percentage that makes up the overall school index. And this is what is used to gauge each school and decide what supports each school in a district will need, as well as the district as a whole.
So each year when the school index data is released and evaluated by the state, every school in the state of Michigan is assigned to one of these levels of support. And they start at the bottom with universal support and go up, increasing all the way to comprehensive support and improvement. And we'll talk a little bit about what each of those designations mean. So a universal support school is a school that does not meet any entrance criteria for any additional monitoring or support. That's the lowest level of support. The next level for support in the index system is TSI, which stands for targeted support and assistance. A school meets the eligibility criteria for TSI if one or more subgroups in the school performs at a below 25% for any of the subgroups in proficiency that we're looking at. TSI is the lowest level of support. These are not monitored by MDE. They are left to local school districts for monitoring, and local school districts make the determination about what plan should be in place for those TSI schools. The next level of support is ATS, which stands for additional targeted support. Schools qualify for additional targeted support if they have one or more subgroups that perform in that bottom 25% for each applicable component, or if they are overall, those subgroups are overall performing like a bottom 5.
ATS is a 6-year cohort. So when a school enters ATS status, it remains on that cohort for 6 years. The next identification for ATS will happen in fall of 2028. And then the final category, the most intensive level of support, is called CSI, Comprehensive Support and Improvement. And the entrance criteria for CSI is that a school is in the bottom 5%, graduation rate is 67% or less, or they don't meet the criteria to exit CSI status or ATS status. CSI is a 3-year cohort. The next identification for CSI will occur in 2025. So schools that were identified for CSI remain in that CSI status for 3 years. So those are the 4 areas of support that are identified by the index system. And we are going to lead you through looking briefly at the index scores for each of our schools here in Taylor.
Hi, are we ready for some good news?
Yes.
Okay, because we're bringing it, whether you're ready or not. So what we're going to look at next is we're going to look at, very briefly, just our index schools for each of our buildings broken down. We're also going to show you a little bit of a historical view so we can see how the building's scores are changing over the years, okay? So we're going to start with Moody. You're going to notice that Moody is designated a universal support. So that's a category where they don't need additional supports. So universal is what we're aiming for. One thing I want to point out about Moody right away is the universal support is a new designation for them this year. Last year, they were TSI school. And so they have worked their way up off of the TSI list. They now need no supports this year. So great news for Moody. What I do want to point out is we're looking at proficiency, growth, school quality includes attendance, okay? So we're working really hard with attendance, but then you'll see for elementary, an overall school index value at the bottom as well. Over in the far right-hand column, you'll notice the changes, and you'll see that they are in green. That's because they're all positive changes. Moody, from 2021-22 to 2022-23, their proficiency more than doubled. And this would be the proficiency from the M-STEP. So amazing work coming post-COVID. The 2018-19 column that you see first, that would be pre-COVID. The 2 years where we were virtual learners, we didn't have data from the COVID years. So that's why you see blank there, okay? So Moody has lots to celebrate because they have a lot of green in that far column. Go ahead. Oh, next, please. Thank you. Our next building that we're going to look at is Myers Elementary. You'll notice Myers Elementary is comprehensive support. Comprehensive support is a designation that calls for the most support from the state. And so we are working very closely with our state representative, which we're quite liking because it's giving us some resources that we may not have otherwise had to help support Myers. And so as Sarah was saying, Myers is a comprehensive support building for 3 years. So they are comprehensive support through 2025. But again, I want to call your attention to that change column. Myers is also all in the green for anything deemed elementary in terms of change. So growth, they actually, for their proficiency, I want to stop there, 21-22, 10.4%. Last year, 19.05%. Yes, those are low numbers. However, they almost doubled their proficiency from 1 year to the next. Huge, huge, that I wanted to point out. So you can see here, really good numbers for Myers. If you look at the, I'm sorry, I talk with my hands. The bottom row, the overall school index, the reason that Myers was designated, thank you, Jason. The reason that Myers was designated comprehensive support is because in 21-22, their overall school index fell below the threshold that the state deemed was 23. So they were close, but you can see, okay, so they scored at 21% overall in 21-22. If we keep that 23% threshold in mind, look where their number was for last year of overall, 42. So just to give you some perspective, like there's amazing work and growth going on at Myers Elementary. Okay, next please. And then the last building I'm going to talk about is Taylor Parks. I want to point out again, Taylor Parks is deemed universal support, so not needing support. Last year, they were also a TSI building, so they worked their way off of the TSI list over that year. And in the change column, Taylor Parks is also all in the green. So you're going to see kind of a trend emerge as we review our buildings. You're going to see in that change column, lots of green coming up. We are very proud of that work. My team of coordinators works very closely with our instructional coaches. We've really ramped up the work we've been doing with our instructional coaches to make their work very relevant and meaningful to the needs of the kids today, right? Because we all know their needs have changed post-COVID. So can't say enough about our instructional coaches as well. They are boots on the ground, supporting teachers every single day in the classroom.
Next slide, Matt. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good evening. So I have the pleasure of going over the remaining elementary schools we have. So we have the wonderful Eureka Heights that was a universal support last year, continued on this year. So amazing news for Stacy Hall and her staff. Their overall school index, just to point out, more than doubled as well. So really good things going on at E Heights. And again, lots of pluses in the double digits. So we like to see that. And just really good things going on. Nan, their coach is just tremendous and working with their teachers and improving the best practices all through the building. It's just really encouraging to see this growth. Next slide, Matt. Thank you. Holland, again, was a universal support last year. They continue to be a universal support this year. If you notice, I'm going to point it out, but in a positive way. So the only negative change in any of our elementaries is right there. It's a negative 0.24. That's it. Everything else in elementary is a positive green. So it's just awesome, awesome. And it's proficiency, which is the toughest one to achieve. And they still did a bang up job, let's be honest. So their growth was off the charts and their score was also almost 30 points in the plus. So we're so excited for Holland and for Kathy and Laura and their staff. Kenyon last year was a TSI school, and they were a TSI school because they did not meet the assessment participation for kiddos. This year, if you notice, that participation was met, and they are universal support, no longer having a label for in terms of the state support. So that's an awesome thing. They also increased almost 25 points. Really good things going on with Susie Sweet and Sunshine Hernandez at Kenyon. Thanks, Matt. McDowell, Lindborg, and Katie Fargo, an amazing dynamic team that, again, universal support last year, universal support this year. Lynn and her staff have worked really hard on increasing their growth tremendously, almost 50 percentage points. It's just been absolutely amazing to be a part of that. And we're super proud of, like Kim said, all the work we've done with the team. And then they've just taken it and knocked our socks off. So McDowell, exciting, another 30 points in the plus. Randall is our final elementary building. They are the second building that still does have a label this year. Like Sarah mentioned, the CSI buildings and the ATS buildings have 3-year and 5-year cohort, 6-year cohorts. Randall is ATS, that's the one that fell right in the middle there. So they had a few subgroups below that 5%. So they did get the label. The good news is if they would have labeled again this year, we wouldn't have had a label. But because we're in that cohort, we have to stay. So I know the question has been discussed, at least with our team, with the reconfiguration. What will that look like? Will Randall's label go away? We are looking into MDE's guidance on that because we don't know the answer, but we will definitely keep you updated. And I wanted to point out Randall's growth because their growth was 30 points in the plus as well. And just amazing things that Cindy Mazaris and Jessica Hatfield are doing at Randall. So thank you. That's elementary.
Okay, I have the pleasure of presenting index data for our middle schools. First, starting with Hoover. Hoover is a building that did have a designation change this year from universal support last year to targeted support this year. That change occurred as a result of one subgroup dipping into the designation category. So they had one subgroup that qualified them for that change. However, as we've talked about, targeted support is that lowest level of support, and they are planning to come right off the list next year through targeted planning to support that subgroup. They had significant positive changes in growth, 20% or 20 points of change there. School quality, which we have mentioned, contains attendance as a large factor in that category, had a 30-point growth. And the overall school index increased by 13.25%. So great progress and growth there, even despite the designation change at Hoover. And our second middle school, of course, is West. They had a universal support designation previously, and they maintained that designation this year. They had increases in all the categories that were measured, including 10 points in proficiency, 32 points in growth, which is huge, 38 points in school quality and success, which is incredible. And they had an overall school index value increase of 27 points.
I will round out our schools as we get to what I like to call the upper secondary, so the high school and our virtual learning academy. And so I will point out for the high school, we are targeted support. That did not change from the previous year. One of the things that I would really like to point out is just that we had an overall increase, and with that overall increase, 10% sometimes does not seem like it's a lot, but we want to celebrate everything because that is a lot. When you have over 1,000 students, 10% is a lot of students. And so at 8.5%, our overall index has increased. We made sure that we worked really hard on growth. And so as Liz said earlier, that 13.87% is a major increase. And then that school quality, which also includes attendance. So all of the things that we've been working on, all of the supports to try to get our families and our students to see the importance of them being present has been working. And so we do have a positive trajectory. I will speak briefly on those small numbers that decreased. 1.5% and 0.71% are not a lot. That is a difference in about 3 or 4 students. And so for our test participation, you all will know sometimes getting high schoolers into the building to test is like going and pulling out your own teeth. You have to encourage them and push them. And so we know that this was also post-COVID. And so even though a kid may have been out for COVID, they still counted against our participation, and there was nothing we could do. And so that accounts for a little of that loss. And then our last school is TVLA, the Taylor Virtual Learning Academy. And I will point out the elephants in the room really quickly. Our proficiency went down by almost 10%, and then our participation went down about 16%. And so this is also one of those post-COVID issues because there was an influx of students that were traditional learners prior to COVID, and then post-COVID, they were thinking, you know, it's amazing to stay home and learn at home, but they did not realize that the learning was going to be very different. COVID, you were learning in front of a teacher every single day, every hour, but then TVLA is not really set up that way. And so when they got to TVLA and had to go through that process and realized it was different, a lot of students just stopped attending. And so it's hard to get their participation because they're a virtual academy. So most of the time they are not in the building, but testing, they have to come to the building. So this year has been a big push on making sure that they know the importance, their parents know the importance of them having to be in the building. They've signed some agreements that say they will be in the building for assessments. So we revamped the way that we're communicating assessment to them a little bit to make sure that they are going to be here and they are going to be present. Also revamping the way that TVLA students are taken in. And so a different application process to make sure that it is students that really, really want to do virtual learning and understand that some days they will be in the building. So they may not be just at home and they are coming in maybe 1 or 2 days a week. So it won't be foreign to them to come into the building. But what we really, really want to highlight for TVLA is the growth. Even though we had a smaller percentage of students testing, they grew almost 25%. And then for our graduation rate, which is amazing, the graduation rate at TVLA went up about 15%. And so it shows us that all of the things that we are doing, all of the supports that we put in place are working, and we need to continue to give it time and continue to implement the processes with fidelity so we can make sure that we continue to see our schools grow.
So in summary, if you'll notice what you see here, this is a list of our elementary buildings. Green is where we want to be. In the 22-23 column, all of our elementary buildings are in the green, with the exception of our 2 buildings that are in those year-long cohorts. They had no choice, they had no option to move out of those this year. So all of our other buildings have moved into the universal category, which is where we want our buildings to be. So real proud of that.
And a similar summary for our secondary buildings. We did have one building that had, as we've already discussed, a designation change for the school, so for the 22-23 school year. That does include our presentation on the school index data. We'd like to thank the board for having us this evening. And we appreciate your continued support as we move forward in our school and district improvement efforts.
Can I just make a few comments? Okay. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. When I saw those scores, I mean, I was on there, I was on the index website looking at all of them. It's amazing the work that's going on in our buildings, and it shows right there. I mean, I reached out, I know, to Michelle Hernandez, and I was like, your staff is absolutely amazing. So I just want to say this is a huge, huge win for our staff, for everyone in the district that has been helping our kids. It shows that the people that are there are helping them succeed. And the scores, I mean, they don't lie. The state publishes them. So they're out there for everyone to look. So I encourage you to look at the state index scores, look at that. And I just wanted to ask a quick question real quick. When you're comparing the testing at the elementary level and middle school level to the high school and TVLA, is there a difference in testing? Because I believe at elementary and middle, it's MSTEP. And then is it at the high school, is it the SAT they use? Okay. And PSAT. Okay. What was that? They do? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And then the only other thing I wanted to say too is not only did I look at the Taylor scores, but I also encourage people to look at the surrounding districts, because there are successes here in Taylor and it shows in our scores. For example, when I looked at West Middle School, and I compared surrounding school district middle school overall scores, I didn't look at specific, but our West Middle School outperformed Summit Middle School. They outperformed Wyandotte Middle School, Allen Park Middle School, and Southgate Middle School. So our kids overall tested higher at West than those buildings. And so that is amazing to see those comparisons, that Taylor is on par with these other districts. And I know that the team, everyone in the district is striving to even be better next year. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your work.
Board members, are there any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we will go on to the next item. Item 6, discussion items. First one is overnight field trip request. That one is online. Miss Kristen Lewandowski.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Kristen Lewandowski. I'm a teacher at Taylor High School and advisor. We are super excited that we were accepted into the state conference, which will be held in Grand Rapids at the Amway Hotel. There will be, I just think, over 100 schools attending, and we will be spending 2.5 days there. Our agenda is jam-packed from the second we get there to the second we leave. The students will be seeing 3 keynote speakers. Kate Gladwin, she's from Australia, and she's one of Australia's top 100 women of influence. Alex Molden, a former NFL player, and Ted Weiss, who I hear is extremely hilarious. They're going to interact. They're going to attend a formal dinner. There's going to be a mixer. There's going to be themes with dressing. It's going to be quite fantastic, and I'm super excited to be able to take our students. And I wanted to, we turned in a new this morning. The first sheet I turned in, the timeline was super short. I had to wait. We're going to be taking a charter bus, 2 of them, with a few other downriver schools, and we had to wait to see who was going on the bus. And by the time that came, the everything had to be in December, and then I had to get a thing out to the parents, so it was crunch, crunch, crunch. So I do apologize for the short timeline on that, but the sheet was, the correct one was sent out to this morning to Ricardia and Rachel for the funds. Do you guys have that?
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay.
have it.
Okay, just making sure. So do you guys have questions for me?
All that I'll say is thank you, thank you, thank you for taking our students to MASC, MAHS. When I was at Kennedy, I attended their summer camp for 3 years. And that is what led me to pursue my scholarship at Central Michigan University. The programming that they put on is absolutely amazing for student leaders. And I can't advocate enough for their camp, their state conference. It is absolutely amazing what they do. So thank you for taking our kids there.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so excited. It's been quite a few years, and then COVID, and Daryl and Jody, did Emily go? No, we were trying to think if Emily had gone or not, because it was a few years ago. It's been a while, and so we're excited to bring it back, and we hope the kids love it, and if it goes well, which I'm assuming it will, that next year we'd like to obviously take more. I didn't want to take a huge group because just me, and it's my first time going. So yeah, looking forward to it for sure. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Lewandowski.
Absolutely.
We'll go on to the next discussion item. Overnight conference request for Michigan Construction Teacher Conference. That's Carly.
I'm back. I just want to say I went to that student council conference when I was in high school, and it was amazing. So just a little plug there for her. Okay, so Bob, our construction teacher, and Jeff Klug, our other construction teacher, are both coaches. So they're at volleyball and hockey games. So I'm just going to read what they told me to say. So so it is a requirement for all CTE teachers to attend one professional development in their industry a year. So this would count for that state requirement for them. And then also basically it's a chance for them to go to this construction conference with other construction teachers in the area. The CTE director for the specific construction industry SIP code will be there giving the state updates for the construction SIP code. So they'll get a chance to network with other teachers, discuss competitions for Skills USA, projects, policies, learn more about the credentials. We are looking into adding another credential for construction. And our Bob, I know he's been here a really long time, but he's not done that credential before. And then Jeff, this is his first year with us teaching. So this will be a chance for both of them to learn about that credential together. The agenda is very comprehensive and allows them to split up to be able to get as much information as they can, attending different sessions and then coming back together and PLCing together on it. And then that way we can cover more ground on what's being offered to at that conference. I did include the agenda, so you can see Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is jam-packed all day, all 3 days, for them to be able to do that. All right, any questions?
Board, any questions or comments? Hearing none, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
Number 3. New hire, you're up, Emily.
We are excited to recommend Chanita Els to fill the grades 3 through 5 Myers Student Support Coordinator position. This position will support the building's MTSS building plan. It is a part of what we are spending our RAG grant, Regional Assistant Grant funds on, which is the presentation that the school improvement team just did. It is their comprehensive support designation, and this is part of the funding that goes along with this. This position will help to monitor and support the behavior plans, communicate with family members, and it's just a general part of the school support team. So we are excited to welcome her to the district.
And this is a grant funded, right?
Correct.
Was the question if it was grant funded?
Yes.
It is grant funded.
Just want to make sure. I just wanted to make sure too, you said this individual will be in charge of grades 3 through 5?
Correct.
Do we have is the other student support for K through 2?
Yes, Miguel Vargas, who pivoted from our professional development sub into that position a few weeks ago.
And then does the position, is it Shanita?
Yes.
Shanita. When she was hired, with it being a grant funded position, does she know when the funds run out or if the funds are no longer available? It would, okay.
Yes, they all know that this is contingent on the continuation or elimination of the funds.
Okay. And then is it a year by year position? So, or is it just as long as we have the funds?
It will follow for as long as that school is designated. So
Okay.
Myers has 2 additional years of support. So we're hoping that these people, the attendance agents, that they'll
Okay.
continue for the length of that grant since
Okay.
the funds will be available during that time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Emily, you want to keep on talking? The TFT memorandum.
Yes, okay. So this one fits actually quite nicely in with the presentation that was just done. So Kim Berkey spoke of the importance of the instructional coaches that are in each one of the buildings. And the way that the instructional coaches are able to release teachers for training and to complete their instructional coaching cycle, which each teacher should expect to have some kind of interaction in a coaching capacity with them throughout the school year, is we have allowed for each building through grant funding to hire a professional development sub. This person is given a schedule. They release general ed and special ed teachers to participate in coaching cycle activities with the instructional coach. They had been on a different pay schedule than everyone else. So EduStaff paid a certain amount of money when teachers were approached by the building administration. Hey, would you like to be our professional development sub? You work in the same building every day. They would frequently decline that position because we were paying less for that position than we were for EduStaff. So just to give you a little bit of history. So we entered into an MOU with TFT to actually pay this position $10 more a day than EduStaff does to entice people to this position so that we can continue that during school in classroom coaching, which we know is a much more meaningful way to receive professional development than to send people out of the district, like to say Teresa, or to receive professional development and come back. We highly train our instructional coaches, then they come back and use the professional development subs to release teachers to receive that training.
Or do you have any comments or questions?
So I just have a few questions. So with us raising the PD subs, you said that PD subs are paid out of grant funds, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then does that, pay schedule for PD subs follow the same pay schedule as building subs? Or no? Like, is the 1 through 10 days, 11 through 60 days,
That is still how the building subs are paid.
building subs? Okay,
So the PD subs would be on a different scale
Scale.
than the
Okay.
building subs.
okay. And then with the PD subs, that doesn't impact our general fund because it's grant funded, correct?
Correct. And what's cool is each building is earmarked for this position.
Yeah.
If we can right-size the pay, we can make it more attractive. And then currently we have 2 in the entire district. We should have 11. We should have 1 per building. So this will help move our initiatives along.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none. Number 5 is a second reading of policy updates and revisions. And because I have very little voice going forward, I'm going to ask our secretary to do that.
So we have item number 5, our second reading of policies and revisions. We have policy 1540, our administrative staff reduction / recalls. We have policy 2370.01, online / blended learning program. Then we have policy 7217, weapons. Then policy 8305, information security. And finally, policy 8531, free and reduced price meals. Is there any discussion? All right.
Is there codifications?
And I believe these policies are just the ones that Neola has recommended. So
Yeah, that is
these-
correct.
These are not policy changes that we're doing on our own,
Correct.
coming from Neola.
Satisfied with all those? Okay. Our next agenda item, action items.
First up on our action items, we have overnight field trip request, MASC, MAHS State Leadership Conference, policy 2340 and policy 8640. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following overnight field trip request: Taylor High School, MASC, MAHS State Leadership Conference, Grand Rapids, Michigan, February 24th through February 26th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. That carries 6-0. Item number 2, overnight conference request, Michigan Construction Teacher Conference, policy 6550. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the overnight conference request for Jeff Klug and Bob Murray to attend the Michigan Construction Teacher Conference, Bel Air, Michigan, February 7th through the 9th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt?
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 3, request to hire student support provider for Myers Elementary, policy 3120. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the hiring of Shanita, is it Alls? Shanita Alls for the position student support provider at Myers Elementary, 3rd through 5th grade. Salary for the position will be $40,000 prorated. Ms. All's start date will be Thursday, January 25th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support?
Support.
Is that Mrs. Thomas? Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt?
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas? That carries 6-0. Item number 4, Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT Memorandum of Understanding. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the MOU between the Taylor School District and the Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT, regarding professional development substitute teachers daily rate. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 5, adoption of policies. Policy 0131.1. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the adoption of the following policies. Policy 1540, administrative staff reduction / recalls. Policy 2370.01, online / blended learning program. Policy 7217, weapons. Policy 8305, information security. Policy 8531, free and reduced price meals. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
That carries 6-0.
Okay, our next agenda item is our superintendent report.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I want to start out by recognizing that January is School Board Recognition Month. And I think it's perfect timing for this to come up after we just had that presentation by our school improvement coordinators team. Because the theme we have in the tokens of appreciation that we put out for the board members tonight is it takes a village. And we're all part of that village in helping our students to see success. And we want to make sure that our board is recognized as being a very important part of that village who takes the time to come and set the policies, set the agenda, set the items that make us, allowed us to go out and do what we need to do on behalf of our students in the Taylor School. So we want to take this time to recognize our school board. I am going to go through and read. RISA has put out a resolution that they passed at their the RISA Board of Education meeting for this exact occasion. And their resolution states, whereas the boards of education of the 33 constituent school districts of Wayne County promote quality education for every child attending their schools, and whereas these exceptional public servants demonstrate enthusiasm to their duty and voluntarily contribute countless hours of service on behalf of the students of Wayne County, the educators that support the students daily, and their communities. And whereas Wayne County school boards are resilient advocates for the needs of students in their communities and with policymakers in both Lansing and Washington. And whereas Wayne County school boards are committed to advancing the student achievement and well-being in the schools and communities that they serve. And whereas Wayne County school boards understand the importance of access, opportunity, equity, and excellence in education for its students, and recognize that a quality education is the most important factor in the success of our communities, state, and country. And whereas local control continues to play a vital role in the success of public education. And whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the diverse educational needs of all children and to empower them to become informed and productive contributors to society in an ever-changing world. And whereas the state of Michigan and the State Board of Education have declared January of 2024 as School Board Recognition Month. And whereas School Board Recognition Month is an ideal time to recognize and celebrate the Wayne County residents serving on school district governing boards of education who help guide the education of pupils in pre-kindergarten through grade 12 and who prepare these pupils for global competitiveness. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency Board of Education, in the spirit of the School Board Recognition Month, recognizes and celebrates the contributions and leadership of all Wayne County school boards of education. Presented and adopted on December 20th of 2023. So thank you, school board, for being a part of our village and being a part of the team that makes our students see success as we saw tonight. The only other part of my superintendent's report tonight is I do want to share, because I know there was, in the last 2 weeks since our last board meeting, probably the hottest topic of conversation is snow dates and calling off school and what goes into that decision. And I felt like it was a good time that to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on how that process works. So I know a lot of people put out there like, hey, is there a set of temperature that it has to be? Is there a set amount of snow? Is there certain factors? And the honest answer is there is not. There are lots of different things that go into when we make that decision. I will say as a county, we do try to adopt in terms of when it's cold. We do try to stick to a -20 extended wind chill. But sometimes that isn't the only factor. Sometimes you have to consider if the streets are icy and it's got that really bad wind chill, and we know we're going to be leaving kids standing at a bus stop for a long period of time, that maybe we don't stick to that -20. So there's just lots of things we always have to consider. We have to consider whether we have enough staffing to make the day work. We have to consider whether we have all of our buildings up and running as they should. So it's just one of those things. It's almost kind of, as I'm learning this year, it's almost kind of like an art more than a exact science of it. And trust me, I was always the person, I know I see Leon back here, because we used to always talk about, we'd make our predictions of, is it gonna be a snow day? And we were usually pretty spot on, but it's a little different sitting in this seat now, being the guy who has to make that call. But it is a widely factored item, and it is not one of those things that we do easily. But do know when we make that decision to call school, it is because it's in the best interest and safety of our students. And that is always what we're going to keep in mind when we make that decision. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. It's always nice to be recognized for doing something that we all love. Even though it's hard a lot. But each one of us is here for unselfish reasons. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it is. We try to do the best for our kids in this district, to have more positives like we saw at the beginning, ease on down the road. That's what we'd like to do, is ease on down the road from here. It's always has bumps in it, but we appreciate any recognition that we get, and it's like we told it. Consent agenda.
Consent agenda, policy 0166.1 and policy 6470. First, we have minutes from December 20th, 2023 regular board meeting. 2, we have minutes from January 8th, 2024 special board meeting. 3, we have minutes from January 10th, 2024 organizational meeting. And then number 4, consolidated items, payment of current bills, certified, non-certified, and administrative reports. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt?
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. That carries 6-0.
And next we have items scheduled for next agenda, Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. We'll have good news. Do we have any idea yet what it might be? No, not yet. We will find some really good news. And then our student representatives will come from TVLA. So, public comment. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act of 1976, the board provides opportunity for citizen input during public comment. Because agendas are full, each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Thank you to all who are able to be here with us in person or online tonight. We understand the importance of continuing to keep you all informed and provide an opportunity for you to be heard. Tonight's audience participation will be for all who wish to speak, whether it be in person or online. We will begin with those in person. If you would like to address the board, Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. After all those in person have had the opportunity to speak, the opportunity will be given to those online. Please take into consideration common courtesy and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. We will provide and assist with timekeeping so that each speaker will be able to monitor their own time and know when to conclude, so all who wish to speak will have equal opportunity to do so. If there are any questions at this meeting or by some other avenue, Superintendent Michael Wagner or his designee will work on getting those answers in a timely manner. We will start with those in person. Are there any in person?
Bill Patz, 6860 Jackson. I noticed you got lighting out there. Thank you. I mean, it's kind of bright, but thank you. Also, walking into the parking lot to come to the entranceway, you plan on putting a sidewalk in? Are there plans on that for a sidewalk from the parking lot to the entrance? And the other thing is, since I've been in the district over 20 years, we've always had course descriptions. I want to know if they stopped that. I asked Ms. Biddle about it, that she didn't answer me. She said, I'm not in charge of that. I just wanted to know if there's course descriptions coming to the PRC for me to print, or is it all going to be online? And congratulations, you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patz. Is there anyone else? No? Okay. Is there anyone online? No? Great, take it away.
Item number 12, we have adjournment to closed session, policy 0137.2 pursuant to Michigan's Open Meetings Act being Public Act 267 of 1976. And as amended, I move the board convene in closed session pursuant to 8A, employee discipline, 8B, student discipline matters, and 8H, material exempt from disclosure by state and federal statute. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas. Mrs. Thomas. Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
That passes 6-0. We will go into closed session at. Watch his dad.
7:08.
All right.
Okay, we're back from closed session at 9 p.m. Our next action is action after closed session. Mr. Wright.
Yes, and we do have 2 items after closed session. First action after closed session is a motion to approve the amended lease with the Guidance Center for the 23-24 school year and to authorize the superintendent to execute the amended lease agreement through June 30th of 2024 for certain leased space at Fisher Elementary School. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. That carries 6-0. Item number 2, we have student reinstatement, student number 1-012424. We have a motion to conditionally reinstate student number 1-012424 to TVLA and for the TVLA, and the student shall only be on site for testing, and the student's backpack shall be searched when on site. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there support? Support by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt.
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath is absent. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
That carries 6-0.
Okay, next item, board member comments.
I have something. In with the snow days last week, I just want to recognize the utility and maintenance that worked diligently for days to get our schools back up and running. I know that some people don't see that work that they do, but they did work hard, and I wanted to recognize them for that and thank them for getting our kids back in school.
Thank you, Mrs. Shuko. Are any other board comments?
I'd like to thank the drama teacher for bringing the kids in. It's a great little skit we had. And I'd like to know more when their plays are.
Yeah, that was good.
It was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else? Nothing? Kyle Wright has nothing to say. Next item is adjournment. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Myers. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Shufeldt?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Ms. Black is a yes. Mr. Booth is not here. Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
That motion carries 6-0. We're adjourning at the Board of Education regular board meeting for January 24th, 2024, adjourned at 9:04 PM. Good night, everyone.